Hey everybody, thank you guys for coming. Stop sharing that screen. Um, so as you can see, the title of this is "Are Women Being Targeted?" There are so many different avenues of how women are being targeted. It's kind of gruesome. It turns your stomach. I'm gonna discuss a few of them. Not today. I'm only focused on one part today. But the rest of them are pretty. Hmm. Ways that they're being targeted and we didn't even know. Okay, I'm gonna put up right now. I'm gonna do a few statistics. Uh, this stuff is so terrible. I don't even understand why they don't even really have up to date statistics. I don't know why it's so hard for them to figure it out, but it is. But these are um, the latest that were out, and I'm gonna share my screen. You'll see four different numbers, ratings. It's black male, black female, white female. And then we'll talk a little bit about what that means or the sad part about it. So, homicide victimization by race and sex, and then arrest by race. Okay. I don't really being arrested by race doesn't really concern what I'm speaking of. But if you notice, black male is the kind of bluish color, and the black female is like the purple, kind of purplish color, and then you have the white female as black, and then the white male is black, and then the white female is the yellowish color. If you look closely, I'm gonna see, can I blow it up a little bit? If you look closely, the black male and the black female both, trample over the white male and the white female, which does not make them invisible. I'm not speaking on the males right now. This is just about the females. The black female, is more than the white male and the white female, but falls very short, shy of, a lot of of the black male. So that's just one of them. Um, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I got a lot on this screen. I'm surprised my computer has not shut down. The next one I'm going to it's numbers, not their special graph or chart, whatever they created. It's like number. It actually it's just sickening, you guys. No. And please excuse me because I tried to keep this in as much order as I could, but there's so much information, and I'm really not trying to bombard you guys with all this stuff. This is just, a little bit of what's going on. Um, so, well, I'll do this. Instead of me trying to read to you and messing up the words because I'm reading over myself, I'm going to do this. This is another of the statistics before I start, before I give you the information that I'm going to give you and show you the videos and stuff like that.
Homicide victimization for black men.
Slow it down a little bit. That was me listening. That was super fast. And I like to hear the men talk to me opposed to the women. So, by the time that we finish with this live, I'm going to actually explain to you why a lot of our younger generation is part of the what's going on, whether it's white, black, Hispanic, Asian. Why a lot of our younger women are being targeted. Okay, so it's not are they being targeted? Yes, they are. And this is just me showing you a few cases, and then there's one that I really want you guys to listen to. It's yeah. Um, so okay,
was more than 8 times higher than for white males in 2020 to 2021. Black female rates were 4 times higher than rates for white females for 2020 to 2021. Homicide victimization by race and sex. The topic of women going missing is a deeply concerning and sensitive issue that affects communities across the globe. It's a subject that requires careful attention and a compassionate approach. The statistics on missing women are alarming, and they highlight the need for increased awareness and action to protect vulnerable populations. According to a report by Day magazine, over 250,000 women and teenage girls are reported missing every year in the U.S., with many of these cases connected to male violence. This staggering number underscores the magnitude of the problem and the urgency with which it must be addressed. The article emphasizes that the media and public attention often focus on individual cases, while the broader issue remains underreported. Statista, a reputable source for statistical data, reports that in 2022, 206,371 females under the age of 21 and 64,956 females over the age of 21 were reported missing in the United States. These figures illustrate that the issue of missing women spans various age groups, with younger women being particularly at risk. The National Crime Information Center notes that more than 250,000 women were reported missing in a single year, with a significant portion of these cases involving women of color. This highlights the intersectional nature of the issue, where race and gender both play a critical role in the visibility and response to these cases. It's important to recognize that behind every statistic is a human being with a story, a family, and a community. The loss and uncertainty experienced by those left behind can be devastating. As a society, it's crucial to support efforts to improve the safety of women, enhance investigative processes, and ensure that every missing person receives the attention and resources necessary to bring them home.
okay. This is just some other stuff that I put in here, but we literally at this point, I guess there is places right now that help bring missing people home, or people that are gone home, or something has happened to them home. But what I'm here to show you now is there is many cases of the same thing multiple years going back that have not no attention has been brought to them. Some of them are still not home, and they're just as gruesome as the ones that are happening today. So the one in particular is okay. So let me give you this disclaimer. What I'm about to start to play is very gut wrenching. Gut wrenching. Um, it has sensitive words. If you're, it has things in it that will basically hurt your soul. If you're a woman, a mother, a sister, or if you're just a human being in general. So I'm going to show you one particular girl. In addition to that, I have a few more that are similar to the case. They say that they're not connected, but they're very similar. Um, so, but this one is all over TV. You can find information on her everywhere. Myself, and one of my sisters, we started looking at it prior to it being all over the place, and we were, looking at things that were happening and stuff that was in the original articles before the news people picked it up and started talking about it. And we noticed this stuff. So it baffles me how we are not trained investigators, detectives, police, but we can see these things before they can see these things, and we notice these things before they notice these things. And by the time that they notice these things, sometimes it's too late to help these people if they're, still savable. Okay, so Yeah. Let me see. I think. Oh, I got some comments. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go to here. Yeah, yeah. So y'all got to. I want y'all to be patient because y'all know I'm not real good at this right here. So I'm gonna try to make sure I speak to everybody in the process of speaking. Hey, Queen Bree says, "Hey to all my beautiful sisters." Um, she's at work and she's listening. Hey, Raw Truth and Uncut. Um, Dree says, "Share and like the live." Ro Baby, hey Ro Baby. Queen Dree. Okay, Brittany Davis was welcome everyone. Please hit the like button on your way in or out, and thank you. Yes, please do that. Um, so here's the thing: if someone wants to come up, okay, so this because once I speak to you about this, and once you figure out what it is, some of us will figure out. Well, we'll see that you know what. Oh, that could have been me. Hey, Ebony. Um, you'll be able to see that that could have been you. I can even put myself in a situation that I didn't know, and it took my baby boy to tell me something to make me realize that, hey, what are you doing, goofball? You know? So hopefully you guys will pay attention to this, spread the word to other people you know that are dating and out there in the world and just doing stuff so they can be more, more aware. But I forgot. Okay, so the first young lady and the most disturbing one, um, well, one of the most disturbing. I won't say one is more disturbing than the other. Uh, and she's all over the news. But before I show you, well, let me say this. Let me ask you this before I put this one up. Tell me, would you want to see a quick one that's on the news, or would you want to see one that's on social media that has not that's currently going on, so you guys can watch it and see it for yourself, where no one has been captured, obviously, because they're claiming to have the person or they're showing pictures of the person posting currently. So we can do that one, or I think I want to do the one that I started first because, yeah, so then you can, yeah, I'm going to do the original one. My sister told me to stay on track, stay on task. Stay on track and stay on task because y'all know I'll go all the way around. So the first one I'm going to show you is I'm going to give you the video. Nancy Gray, if anybody's heard of Nancy Gray, once Nancy Gray gets it, it's a wrap for whoever is involved in it. I'm going to show you a video from her, and then we'll look at the clippings and we'll talk about it. Jesus. And once again, I want y'all to be patient with me because I told you I have like 99 million things open on my computer at this point. Like literally, no joke. And in the process of doing this, I'm also trying not to disclose anything. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. Oh, shoot. No way. Okay, here we go. So this is the first date. I'm not, yeah, babe. Okay, one of them, the attachment was taken down. Oh, darn. Okay, that's okay. That is perfectly fine. I just didn't want to give you that one before I gave you this one. See, that's the bad part about this. Stuff gets this bad. Stuff gets taken away, but I got it still. My sister told me to screen record it, and I did not listen. Give me 1 second. I still have it. But anyway, so there was this young lady. Her name is Sadie. What happened with her is she was going on a first date. She met someone online dating, online dating. Um, and she never returned home. Okay. Why did she never return home? Hmm. That's what we're going to show you. Um, the sad part of it is, yes, it has happened before with this particular person, but nobody knows or nobody knew. So now they're trying to figure it out, or now they're starting to figure it out. So I'm gonna play it right now. Sorry, guys, and thank you for being patient. I'm sharing my screen now. This is not funny. This is so sad, y'all. I promise this is so sad. Nancy Gray is a beast. So once again, if you have sensitive stomach, sensitive feelings, things depress you or cause you nightmares, please, by all means, please just pause, mute, or something. Okay? Y'all do that for me. Pause, mute, or whatever you got to do to get off this screen for a little bit. But come back. Okay? Just come back. Just pause it. This is Sadie.
Tonight, bombshell DNA breakthrough in the case of teen girl Sade Robinson. Blood found in suspect Maxwell Anderson home does not belong to Sade. The mystery blood, a backyard grave already dug, and the discovery of a basement sex dungeon. Are there more victims? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime.
Okay. So that was just the little I guess you want to call it an introduction of what I'm speaking about. So I said her name wrong. Her name is Sade. So Sade went on a first date, and I'll pull that up for you. And oh, I'm sorry, that's another victim. Not of the same person, but these are all different victims, you guys. I'm just going across my screen real quick. This is one that's happening now. I'm looking for Sade's, but I have like a lot up here. So okay, so let me stop sharing with y'all so we can talk about Sade. Who is that? Yep. Thank you guys for coming in and speaking. Hey everyone, that's Glenda. I'm trying to speak to everybody as we come in, but like I said, this is a hard subject. And I have so much because as I was I'm not gonna say investigate because I'm not an investigator, but as I was looking over it, I ran across so many more. And like I said, my sister was trying to get me to focus on just what I wanted to speak to you guys about, but it was really hard when there's so many because you really want to uh help everybody. I mean, speak about everybody. So let me make sure this is Sade. 23-year-old black woman who was found. No, that's not Sade. That is Lauren Smith Fields. Like I said, there's so many. I'm sorry. Jesus. Okay, here's Sade. So Sade, let me give you a breakdown of who she was and how old she was. Um, or what happened. So this happened on the night of April 1st. Sade was excited about her first date with Maxwell Anderson. Met him at a restaurant, to go on their date. After dinner, they visit another bar and eventually ended up at Anderson's home. And then I have like a breakdown of the events that the news had that that followed. Had dinner at a restaurant where Anderson worked, then later went to a bar. Sade sent a snap to a friend, April 1st to early April 2nd. They were calling Sade. They couldn't find her. Her phone was tracked to various locations, um, different parks. She wasn't reported missing until, um, I think, let me see. Sade was reported missing after she failed to show up for her shift at the pizza restaurant. The same day that she failed to show up, a human leg was found um, at a park near Lake Michigan. Her car was also set on fire. Maxwell, he was charged, with whatever happened. But here's the thing with Sade. There's so many different reports, but the actuality is her body part. I'm going to close these as we talk about. Her body parts were found in different locations, different parts, different pieces, which is not the first person that has happened to. Multiple people have been found this way. This is like I don't want to say like a serial thing, because a serial thing has to be one person with multiple people, one person with multiple people, but this is multiple people, multiple persons. So it's not just one, but a majority of them are from online dating. Okay. Um, when they go meet these people, when they go out to dinner or meet them at their homes. Um, so I'm going to give you the rest of Nancy Gray, and then I'll tell you about another lady who actually went to the person's house and how this person was not a suspect. Okay. He woke up and found her next to him, and he was not a suspect. But that's not Sade. Sade. I keep saying her name wrong. I'm sorry. Um, okay. I'm checking for my comment. I wonder why. No, I have not at all ever blocked her. Unless one of the mods did by accident, but I didn't. I couldn't even tell you. Oh, there she go. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, Melissa, Brittany, Queensry, Cherie, Raw Truth and Uncut, Glenda, Rebone, Queensry, Road Baby. Um, that's all I see. That's all that's coming. I can't, you can't see. Okay, so let me let you finish hearing Nancy Gray, and then I'm gonna give you the other people who have that. This story is not that important to, so they know who they are, but they happened years ago, and people, it took a while for the families to get justice. Wasn't mentioned, and then maybe if it had of these young ladies who are current, maybe it would not have happened. You see what I'm saying? So they're not giving what it takes to stop these things. It's really sickening and sad. So I want Nancy, sis, do you know, we had the original one for Nancy Gray, right? Well, I'll just finish this one out. I wanted the backstory so you can hear the backstory, but I think that's the one that's not letting me get in there anymore. I think that's the one that kicked me and told me they can't let me, you know what I mean? It won't let me do it. 333. I don't like doing it without the backstory, but that's okay. We're just going to do it. Here you go. That's why I just filled you guys in. And I'm sorry, y'all. This is my first time trying to present this, but I'm trying to do it the best that I can, and I will get better by the next time I do it. So here's my screen.
Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
I'm not going to listen to her. Here you go.
As volunteer searchers try to locate all of teen girl Sade Robinson's remains, a fourth set of body parts, this time at a remote tree-lined stretch of beach along South Michigan. Just after 7 a.m., someone walking along a South Milwaukee waterline discovered an arm and torso. The remains washed ashore about a quarter of a mile from a nearby apartment complex. Residents watched as officers carried a body bag down the cliff to recover the body parts. Police have continued their search using a sonar detection boat to scour the lake.
Ready to bring your brand into the real world? Shopify is ready for that too. With a retail point of sale solution that lets you sell in stores or market.
I don't know how you guys feel about commercial. I don't know how you guys feel about commercial. Okay, I'm so sorry. Here it comes. I'm gonna restart it. Start it again. Start sharing again. It was a commercial, and I don't want all those commercials on here. And I haven't figured out how to wait to pause it and then let you guys keep whatever. Then the commercial going. I don't want to advertise the commercials. Just Nancy Gray. So here it goes again.
What hell? I mean, pure hell are Sade's parents going through? This young girl in college now appearing. This is the fourth set of remains, this time a torso. What else is missing? And how can they hope to ever bury their girl when they don't have her entire body? A first date turns to murder. A torso just being discovered. We are convinced it belongs to teen girl Sade. How did the whole thing start? Listen.
Sade Robinson, 19, is excited for her first date with Maxwell Anderson, a local bartender. The pair decide on seafood, and Maxwell takes Robinson to the Twisted Fisherman, a place he used to work. After dinner, the date continues at Duke's on Water, and Anderson invites Robinson back to his home. Around 12:34 a.m., Robinson's car leaves Anderson's home and makes several stops around Milwaukee, spending nearly 2 hours at a pump house in W0MEN Park. The next day, Robinson doesn't show up for work, and a concerned coworker reports her missing. Hours later, a severed human leg is found on the shore of Lake Michigan down a bluff from W0MEN Park.
Joining me in all-star panel, but first, for the very latest, out to W0MEN, investigative reporter and anchor for Fox 6 in Milwaukee. Aaron, thank you for being with us. There's so much happening and so quickly in the Sade Robinson case. But first, I want to go to the torso. We have a torso, a female torso that has washed up, so to speak. We have unidentified blood, W0MEN, and not just blood, Aaron. For instance, if I go to your home and I see a few spots of blood around your bathroom sink, I'll think, oh, he got his face shaving. This is blood on bedding going up the wall from the basement. And we know that the basement, now uncovered, was a sex dungeon.
Okay. So I'm going to stop right there because I know y'all like, what are you doing? I want to hear this. But can you imagine this? Can you imagine going into someone's house to look for a missing person or a person that was last seen with you and realizing this? Now, the first thing that you're supposed to think of, oh my gosh, there's a sex dungeon down here. Is this their first victim or are there multiple victims, right? It's like unbelievable, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I gotta stop every now and then in the middle of it. So y'all, I'm trying to follow the rules and and talk a little bit about it here or there, but I really want you guys to hear it.
And blood elsewhere in the home, blood where it shouldn't be in the normal course of one's routine. So, with all of this happening, I can't help but wonder, are there more victims? Since that blood does not match Sade, and we have reason to believe it doesn't match the defendant, the suspect. But back to the torso. Tell me everything.
Well, this all began with a severed leg at a park in Cudahy, and it just sparked so much mystery. And that's what this case has been, Nancy. A ton of mystery. Where are these body parts, first off, coming from? And then we later learned that it is Sade Robinson, who's been a missing girl. And then just these series of events continue to pile up. The latest was that arm and torso that washed up on shore. Someone was walking along the beach, Nancy, and they found this arm and torso. Now let's go back to that severed leg, because these places where they were found really not close to each other. They're a few miles away, about a 10-minute drive from each other. And police were quickly able to identify that this arm and torso were that of Sade Robinson's. I want to talk about where it was found. It's in this
Hold on.
That person on the picture is not the person who did this to her. That was just a graduation picture. That person on the picture is not the one that did this to her, you guys.
Erin Maben, we're showing right now an aerial of the area. Guys, you're hearing Erin Maben from Fox 6 speaking. So a 10-minute drive between, now we've got 4 different series of body parts. So you're saying a 10-minute drive from what to what?
From where that first severed leg was found on April 2nd. And now you're looking at other parts of the city of Milwaukee. This is the north side of Milwaukee, another direction, Nancy. And then a few days later is when that arm and torso were found. And that's what you're looking at right here. This is a very wooded area, a beachy area with tons of gravel. And people walk along the shore. It's super pretty. So people definitely were not expecting to find body parts there.
I'm trying to figure something out. When you say rocky, do you mean as in Pacific Coast, rocky, or do you mean a cliff? You look down on rocks, rocky.
Yeah,
it's
more
walkable. It's
more
walkable.
gravel instead of sand and beach in that area. Think of walking on rocks, not necessarily a cliff. That's going to be more that Cudahy area, that Warnemont Park area where the severed leg was found. That was more cliff-like. This is less cliff-like.
So, question: does it appear, Erin Maben, Fox 6 Milwaukee, that her remains washed ashore or they were discarded there?
Well, we know that people found it as they were walking along the beach, and it was washed ashore. Milwaukee police and the sheriff's office have not really released, those details on where they were discarded, how they got there. But the current with Lake Michigan is so fascinating. You drop something somewhere and then it can end up miles away too, just by the way that the water moves there.
In addition to Fox 6's Erin Maben, joining me is an expert in exactly that. Keith Cormican, underwater search and recovery expert, director of Bruce's Legacy, searching for Sade in bodies of water. Keith, thank you for taking time out to be with us tonight. Keith, explain your understanding of the discovery of Sade. At this last discovery, it's very hard for me to.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys want to hear him talk. Let me know if you want to hear what he has to say about how he found her when they were dispatched out to find her. We might as well listen to the rest of it because this is not it's just, okay. All right.
To look at her and her photos in life, now that I feel like I've gotten to know her, a girl making all A's in college, a girl holding down multiple jobs, paying for her own car, her own apartment, really had a plan for her life, just this joyful person. And now I'm talking about the fourth set of body parts discovered. But Keith Cormican, underwater search recovery expert,
Yeah.
this part of her body, the torso, is found along a rocky beach area. And I'm trying to determine, do you think it's like Lacey and Connor Peterson after the husband Scott Peterson murdered Lacey? After a period of time, her remains washed up on San Francisco Bay? Or was Sade dumped in this location?
Nancy, I honestly don't think that she was dumped in this location based on the information that I have. I think the probability is that torso was probably dumped in the area where the leg was by that W0MEN Park. Because the torso is the part of our body that will tend to build gas and rise to the surface. And then once it rises to the surface, then it's all dependent on wind and waves where it's going to go. And
Got it.
it's located about 4 miles south of the park of where the leg was known to be. And that's not out of the question to have that part go in that direction the way the winds have been lately. It's my personal belief that I think it's most likely that was put in the area of the W0MEN Park, and it came up during that time and ended up down.
Wait a minute. Wait. That is very vague. Keith Cormican, you're an expert at underwater search and recovery, but let me work on your phraseology just for a moment. I'm trying to determine, like the other three sets of body parts, was this torso placed on Earth at that beach, or was that torso thrown into water? And I have a very specific reason for asking. Water, Earth, which one?
I'm not sure where possible. I mean, from what I understand, looked like it washed up on the beach at that.
Okay, so all I needed to hear, washed up, that means water. And I'm sorry to rush you. I have 1 hour to get through the developments in Sade's case. Why am I in a rush? Because there's a very strong possibility that there are other victims. And you know where I'm going with this, Aaron Mabin? If you don't know a horse, look at his track record. Has he put other victims? Specifically, who was that grave dug for in his backyard? Whose blood is that on his wall? Who else had been in that sex torture chamber that he had in his basement? So if he put part of Sade in the water, ergo, has he put other victims in the water? See where I'm going with this?
Well, Nancy, I want to go back to
I'm going to stop right there. So that goes back to say what I just said, because other people who have come up missing after these dates, because this was an online date, he met her online. Other people that were missing, the light was not shined on them, meaning no one paid attention. They were just runaways. They were just, they didn't want to be there anymore, so they left. They were just pushed to the side. You got to wait 24 hours, got to pay 72 hours. Oh, they're an adult. Oh, we don't see why. Or they're unhappy. All these different excuses as to why the people were not, their missing persons file was not paid attention to like Sade's was, is what allows people to, one of the things that may allow people to continue with the serial thingamajigger, that's just my thoughts, my opinions. You can let me know if you guys think a little bit different or anything different.
What police are sharing, because I wanted to stick to what we know, and there's so much that we are still working to get, but we know that right now police are just searching for Sade Robinson in connection to Maxwell Anderson. But we did learn in a preliminary hearing just a few days ago that the blood that was found inside Maxwell Anderson's home, they swabbed bedding, they swabbed a wall in the basement. We know that blood was not Sade Robinson's DNA. I don't want to go too far talking about, what else it could be, but we do know that it's not Sade Robinson's blood. And that was a development that came in that preliminary hearing too. But police are only telling us right now, Nancy, that they are looking at Maxwell Anderson and Sade Robinson together. They're not putting any other speculation out there, any other rumors out there either.
Can I just do a lightning round with you, Aaron? Just a quickie.
Let's do it.
Isn't it true that civilians are the ones that find the body parts? Yes, no.
Sure. In this case, Nancy, her family members have been out searching. Yeah.
Lightning round. Lightning. It's yes, no. Okay. And isn't it also true that a civilian found the blanket, the pet tribute blanket that was Sade's near some of her remains? Civilians. Yes, no.
Yes.
Aaron? Okay. And isn't it also true, Aaron Maben, that
Sorry, y'all. Let me see. Can I skip past the commercials real quick? Let me see. Try to skip past it. I don't know what's going on. It's not doing anything yet. Oh, y'all can see what it's here. Okay. So she's getting down to the bottom of it. We're gonna listen.
civilians are the ones that are out searching for Sade and any of her remaining body parts? Isn't that true?
That's right.
Okay. My point is, police are saying right now, we're only looking at Sade as a victim. Really? Okay, let's move forward with what we know. We know that the police have the suspect's blood. They've got his DNA, obviously. We know that they have Sade's DNA. So, hence, I would argue that the blood found in the home, since they're not saying it's the defendant's and they're saying it's not Sade's, is somebody else's. Is that logical to you, Aaron Maben?
Sure, yeah, Nancy.
Okay. Going forward from there, Dr. Eric Eason joining me, board certified forensic pathologist, consultant, on Facebook, Eric August Eason. Dr. Eason, thank you for being with us. Just in a nutshell, and I'll delve back into it before Aaron Maben gets called off to a scene. Dr. Eason, isn't it relatively easy for a medical examiner like yourself, who has performed literally thousands of autopsies, to determine whether or not a torso has been submerged in water or has it been out in the open in the elements?
That's actually tough to determine. When I was listening to the comments from the other guest, I don't think you would be able to tell whether or not a torso would have been dropped into the water or simply dropped onto land. I think in either situation, it's going to appear the same. So I don't think you can tell.
Wait. Okay, hold on. I've dealt with a lot of medical examiners and a lot of homicide cases. So you're telling me a torso that has been underwater for several weeks would look the same as a torso that had been out in the air above ground for several weeks?
No. No.
They would probably look a little bit different, yes. That is true. I would agree with that. Yeah.
They look a lot different. Anything submerged in water, anything looks different. When you get in the bathtub for 30 minutes, your hands prune up, for Pete's sake. A torso will look different if it's been underwater than if it's been out on the beach. Look, I'm just a JD. I'm not an MD. How would they look different?
So,
let's see. The one in the water, you're going to have.
If Sade Robinson's mother catches you laughing, she's going to rip your throat out. Okay.
Of course.
Now tell me how that torso looks different if it's been underwater.
They're going to be bloated for sure, because being under the water, the bacteria are going to multiply and release the gas, and that's going to actually bring the torso up to the surface. It's going to look different than if the torso is placed simply on the land. You're going to get some decomposition that's going to occur, but you're not going to have some of the bloating that we were talking about.
She's a 19, 20-year-old young lady, okay? We all at this age, we have a lot of friends. She's not in a relationship. She didn't have a boyfriend. She wasn't tied down to anyone. She's single and she's dating. I knew she hung out with her coworkers at Pizza Shuttle. They went out to little bars and hung out sometimes. I'm a very concerned mother. I'm very overprotective. I always would put in Sade's ear, be careful. I don't trust these people around Milwaukee. I'm just that extra type of mom. And my daughter's always, Mom, just sit back. I try to give them space, let them be independent. But I just been having this vibe and intuition. And I have been wanting her just to like not hang out and go out to places for some reason.
In the last hours, multiple updates in the murder case of teen girl Sade Robinson, the first date murder. She thinks she's got a wonderful guy for a date. He's the son of a Milwaukee millionaire in his 30s, in and out of a job as a bartender. First date.
Okay,
She's
y'all
never
hear
seen
that?
alive again. With me, an all-star panel, including Erin Mabin, Fox 6 out of Milwaukee. But back to you, Dr. Eric Eason. Isn't it true? I'm just talking off the top of my head here.
Well, I'm gonna stop right there because basically, you guys already see how they try to move around and hey TC, how they try to move around and maneuver around and word things differently to kind of throw you off, which is why some of these cases have gone unsolved, or some of these people were not found, or some of these people were not convicted or tried. If you notice in this story, she said the son of a Milwaukee millionaire. I bring light to that because that leads to what I'm going to tell you about. With this, you'll see it'll bring to light how many of these young ladies have gone missing and we just don't know about it. Even though they give us the statistics that are a couple of years old, there are more than that we just don't know about. Okay. I was doing the research for this, and that's why my sister kept telling me, no, Robbie, stay to the point, stay to the point. But it's so hard when you start looking and all these other young ladies, their names start popping up and they go on these dates and they do this and they disappear. Okay. So before I go to how this is happening, one way of how this is happening, I'm going to stop with Sadiq. Let me see, can I fast forward past them and back to some more information of what Nancy Gray is trying to tell us. Nancy Gray will pulls it out of them. Yeah, I think I'm sorry. My ears are popping. I'm feeling kind of funny because my grandmother had pneumonia. And I think I'm catching a whiff of it, so I hear like popping in my ears. But Nancy Gray gets to the gist of it. Okay. She's going to cut him off at the knees and get to what she wants to hear. So I'm going to try to get past him trying to, as they call it, gaslight Nancy Gray on her own. She broke it. Well, you know what? She broke it down of the thing. You know what? I'm gonna let you hear this, so you can. I've got to let you hear how she breaks them all the way down and make them tell her what she wants. So I got to let you hear Nancy. Nancy is something else. I got to let you hear this one. And then I'll go to the next one.
But back to you, Dr. Eric Eason. Isn't it true? I'm just talking off the top of my head here, that if a body had been underwater, we would have at least vascular marbling. We would have dark discoloration of the skin and the soft tissues after about a week or so. You would have bloating of the body. Even if it is just a torso, it would be bloated. And wouldn't you have the beginnings of putrefaction? Isn't that true?
Yes, it is definitely true. Also got to factor in temperature too, though. I mean, I think it's still pretty cold up in Milwaukee right now, so that may slow down some of the decomposition process. But the bloating is definitely probably going to occur with the body that's under the water, correct?
We are also discovering, Aaron Maben, that the legs were cut off below the hip. Is that correct?
Yeah, that first severed torso right below the hip is where that cutting happened.
Did y'all hear what I just heard? Why would he say that first severed torso? Okay.
You know, I find that unusual, Aaron, and I'll tell you why. When I've seen other dismemberments, the dismemberment occurs at the joint. And I'm wondering exactly how this was done. Why? Because it's easier. I don't know if you've ever cooked a chicken before or cut up a chicken to cook a chicken. Maybe you've seen your mom do it. It's not to compare chickens with people, but that is how a dismemberment is more easily done. And that's a typical method of dismemberment. What more do you know about this torso being dismembered just below the hip?
Yeah, so that's where it all began. We just know that prosecutors are saying it actually is kind of close to that joint where that first severed leg was discovered. So I think you're not too far off with where that cutting happened, according to prosecutors too. Unfortunately, we didn't get other details when the torso and the arm were found. We don't know exactly, according to the sheriff's office, where that cutting happened, Nancy. So still some kind of gray areas there, but where that first severed leg was found, according to the prosecutors in this case, it is close to that joint, unfortunately.
So when you say we don't know where the cutting happened, you mean the dismemberment of the body, not the location where the body was dismembered. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the body.
Yeah, which leads me to a whole nother line of questioning, Aaron Maben, and that is, if she was dismembered and the blood found in his home isn't his, because they've got access to his DNA, they would tell us if it was his DNA, and it's not hers, the dismemberment didn't happen there, then where did it happen? Speaking of searching the home, listen to this.
Maxwell Anderson had a sex dungeon in the basement of his West Milwaukee home, according to a law enforcement source. Cops found a sex sling, restraints, and handcuffs. A close friend of Anderson said that on a visit to Anderson's home last year, he noticed a large hole in the ground that was about 5 feet long by 6 foot deep. Anderson said he was working on an underground basement, despite having a large basement in the home already. Neighbors say the basement in the home had small windows that were always covered, so you could not see inside.
Joining me is high-profile lawyer Eric Faddis, trial lawyer, TV analyst, founding partner Varner Faddis Elite Legal, and, to my purposes, a former felony prosecutor. You can't be a felony prosecutor for very long without catching a couple of homicide cases. Eric Faddis, thank you for being with us. It just keeps coming, doesn't it? More and more evidence for the prosecution in this case. And I don't care what anybody's saying. When there is a significant amount of blood in the locations in which it was found, I'm going to circle back to Aaron Maben in just one moment to get those locations. It's not the defendants. It's not the victim, Sade. I mean, a sex dungeon, a backyard grave already dug. Eric Faddis, there's got to be more victims. And the fact that we now know he disposed of portions of Sade's body in the water, there is no telling what other crimes he may have committed.
Yeah, Nancy, as you said, with each week, it seems like there is a new horrifying revelation in this case. And so now we're hearing about the blood that does not belong to Sade Robinson. Whose blood is that? If it's not Maxwell Anderson, it's not Sade Robinson, it's another person's. It's likely another victim's. And so I'll be interested to hear what police and the government find in searching some of these bodies of water, because that is where Maxwell Anderson allegedly has dumped the remains of his victims. And what other remains are we going to see? That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Give your projects a friendly jolt in Slack. Type it out, talk it out.
Speaking of the blood found in the home, take a listen to this.
In Maxwell Anderson's home, police discovered gas cans in the garage and blood in several areas, including on bedding and the wall of a stairwell leading to the basement. After initial DNA test, an amended probable cause affidavit reveals that the blood is not a match to Sade Robinson. Authorities have not made any indication of who the blood belongs to, possibly another victim or Anderson himself.
Behind bars right now, the son of a multimillionaire Milwaukee businessman who was a part-time bartender at the time. This guy, has he had any meaningful interrogations with police? Where is the rest of Sade's body? And in light of a backyard grave already dug, mystery blood throughout his home, a sex dungeon found in the basement, it leaves one to speculate, are there more victims? With me an all-star panel, but now to special guest Dr. Jory Crossan, psychologist, former law enforcement faculty, St. Leo University. Dr. Jory, thank you for being with us. Explain a sex sling, restraints, handcuffs, and this was all kept secret. The windows, according to an acquaintance of the suspect, were darkened, were boarded over, were covered so no one can look out or in. This was kept away and, for lack of a better word, basement lair. Explain.
Yeah, that would be a behavioral trove of information for anybody that could really properly understand it. First off, with the sex offenders, they want isolation, they want privacy, that gives them time. Also, the biggest thing, and when looking at behavior, is that they're going to build a fantasy from it. That's how they're going to remember this. So what they do and what they can use to trigger that fantasy is going to be very important, evidentiary. That's why a lot of them will take what police identify as trophies, like an identification card, driver's license, some clothing, some personal items, so they can relive that fantasy that they've created. Now, the restraints that they're using or that they can use in these, like what's found here, that comes down to that power and control. One of the things that I look at as a behaviorist would be where the site of the dismemberment would be. If it's not in the house, then it's going to be somewhere else. And again, that is not so much as a sexual behavior, but it's an after the fact behavior that now they've got to deal with getting rid of this evidence. That would also lead me to believe that this is not his first homicide. There seems to be a pattern there. The blood at the site, it may prove to be of other victims that were possibly injured or dismembered there at the house.
Dr. Jory Crossan, you mentioned power and control and having dealt and
so this one is, she's probably just going to be talking more about him. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, and then I'm going to show you another young lady who this happened to. And you don't know because there was basically no coverage. I guess she didn't matter. Not saying that it's the same person, but it's just going to show you how looking over this stuff. And then I want to show you one way that some of this comes about, besides this online dating and besides this, I'm not going to say looking for love in all the wrong places, because most of it, from the research that I've done, a lot of it has nothing to do with looking for love. And I'll show you that as well. It's very disturbing, especially for people who are not out there in the world, or who are not social media. I guess I don't know what you want to call it, who are not always on social media to find out what's going on. Um, well, yeah, um, I will not disagree with you there. So this next young lady is now, mind you, it's not just specific. I'll show you. Damn. Okay, there it goes. I have it on my. I'm looking at different phones, so I can pull it up easier. Sorry about that. It's gonna take. Let me put. Come on. No. Okay, this is the breaking news. We don't want that one. Here we go. When I tell you, you would not believe all the things that have been hidden, and that's why I said we don't have any. We can't possibly have any organizations to help or to stop this or to look for this or whatever. I'm sure there's supposed to be some, but I'm sure that they're not doing what they should be doing to try to stop this or to. I just can't imagine this. So let me pull this up real quick, and then I'll tell you about how some of this is going down right on social media. How these people are getting led astray right here on social media. Here's the next one.
Nurse who was murdered by a man she met on Tinder. That tragedy now has police reminding singles of the dangers of online dating, as officials say there's really been an uptick in crimes related to meeting strangers from the internet.
It's an ongoing issue with the online scene. However, the key is you have to take matters into your own hands.
It's a whole different world when it comes to dating, especially in New York. As more and more turn to swiping left or right, the question remains, how well do you really know a person before you even meet? Former NYPD Lieutenant Darren Porcher weighs in.
Because you got to keep in mind, this is someone that you've never met before. You've met this person strictly by swiping a picture on your cell phone. You know nothing more about that individual.
Take the unfortunate case of Samantha Stewart, a Queens nurse who was strangled and killed. She met Daniel Drayton on Tinder and had even gone on a few dates. And now, as Pix 11 has learned, there may be other victims.
It's just unbelievable, these days you just have to be scared of, you can't trust anyone.
Consider the numbers here. According to reports, 1 in 10 sex offenders use online dating apps. 25% of men convicted of rape use dating apps to allegedly find victims. And more than half of Americans who use the dating sites are fabricating parts or all of their profiles.
Fake profiles are highly prevalent online, and therefore it's very difficult for you to authenticate it when you're communicating with someone online.
So here are some key things anyone using online dating sites should do. Meet in a public place for your very first meet and greet. This may sound taboo, but when you're on the date, call a friend on the phone in front of your date. So you bring a third party into the equation and they know where you are. And question some things in a friendly way, meaning if your date says they're from Queens before you meet, do your research. Ask them questions about Queens to make sure they essentially are not lying.
So when we look at the danger aspect, now it's just exponentially grown with the landscape of online dating.
So some more safety tips for all of you avid online daters. Officials suggest staying sober on the first few outings. They also say you should limit the amount of personal information you reveal right up front and make sure you have your own ride to and from the date.
Okay.
Can you see it?
So with that being said, I want to give you the next one. Yeah, I'll tell you this real quick while I pull up the next young lady. When I was younger and I was dating, and nobody could understand how come every time I went on a date, I would always have a friend with me, I would pay their way or whatever. They thought that I was crazy. I didn't care how many times I went with them. I didn't care who knew them or whatever. That happened to me after I went on a date with this guy. We had went on a date a few times, and I would always meet him in the parking lot, some parking garage or somewhere, because we have the casinos. And I would meet him in the parking garage, and then I would get in the car with him, and then we would go on our date sometimes. Well, this particular time, we were coming back from the date, and he asked me, "Where do do you think that I will go to heaven, and it was heaven or hell, if I, unalive myself?" And I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, if I was driving and I just decided to run off the road or run into something, do you think I would go to heaven or hell?" And then I looked down, and he had, like, I forgot, it was like a different kind of religion card or something. I don't even know what it was. And I was like, "Well, you know how something isn't right, so you have to foot around to try to, you're doing the best you can to ensure that you survive." I said, "Well, I really can't tell you, because I don't know what people, whatever I can say, whatever I can do, not to upset him or make him think he's whatever." But that was it for me. You know what I mean? I never got into another car with another person talking about going on a date. And this person was from New York, but he lived here. His wife had left him. He lived his dad lived with him because she left him with two twins. You know, but at the same time, I don't know, was he going through something that bad where he wanted to, not be here anymore? But I put myself in a bad situation by getting into the car with him. Even that, there's other stories that I could tell you, that even after trying to be careful, I landed myself in. That was the one, the last one that I landed myself in. My son was like, "Mom, you can't be going places and not have your location." He told me I need to have my location on. He told me I was basically crazy in a nice way, because he wasn't gonna disrespect me. But yeah, so this is the last that I'm going to show you, and this one will lead you to the main focus of one of the ways that this is happening to the young women. One of the ways, not all. Okay. And then look at how they title it. This is what bothers me. This is what bothers me of how they title it. But this is it. It says another black woman. This time it's Asia. So another. Okay, I was watching it, so let me go back. But I'll show you some stuff with this one.
This story that you're about to hear, I actually found out about on Instagram, and that just shows you how much mainstream media really does.
Let me show you. This is from another This one is from another content creator. I don't know his name, but I'll tell you his name, so so that I give him his props or whatever, because I don't want no problem. It's Turin Region Reloaded. You can probably see it down there at the bottom of my screen. Okay. Copyright, fair use. You know that.
Doesn't care about this story. If I had to find this out on Instagram and not an official website that posts news and all different things like that. And not only that, when it was posted, I'm recording this on February 28th, 2022, and the story itself actually went out 4 days ago from something that happened even further back than that, meaning that this actually occurred. This incident, which I'm about to talk about, happened days before it was actually released, and way days before I'm talking about it, because I'm just now learning about it, and so are many others right now. But in this picture, you see a woman by the name of Asia Maynard, and she was 29 years old from Kansas City, Missouri. She was a mother of 4, and she ended up deceased in the same way that Lauren Smith Fields was, meaning she went and she met some guy who happened to be PC. Now, before I go any further, I'm gonna be hopping around a little bit with this story, as far as like there might be some parts when I pause because there's some quotes that have been given out by the family members. Then I'm gonna pull up a picture of the guy who she was last seen with, and some other things as well, because they literally have this story like plastered in various places. Some places have more things that I can read, some have less, some have videos and everything like that, and audios and all types of stuff like that. It's like literally all over the place. It's not like one place. Even when I typed her name into Google, it wasn't a lot that I could find. Like I had to type in her name in certain different ways. Like, as a matter of fact, I'm on Google Images right now, and this is one of two images that I was able to find of her. They don't even have a picture of.
And he is telling the truth, because I tried to type it in as well. So this goes back to me telling you guys that it's not brought to light enough. So with this story, you'll probably see why. With this story, you'll probably see why.
Of the guy in Google, but luckily I was able to find a website that actually does have his image alongside hers, but I'll get to that. But this reminds me again of Lauren Smith Fields, where you have a young black woman. She went and met with this PC man. And opposed to this one, the one that I'm talking about in this story looks around the same age as her. But you'll see what I mean when I get to it. And she ends up dead, and then they try to say that she died of this, and when we clearly can say that it was most likely something else, because with Lauren Smith Fields, they said that it was a accidental overdose. But with this one, they said that she died of natural causes. And that's raising so many red flags, because I was reading and it was saying that this woman was actually in very good health. Like she was on no medications. She wasn't sick. She had no illnesses or diseases. But to die of natural causes is what they've come up with. Yeah. Is anyone seeing a pattern here? Because at this point, it's not even an accident anymore. This is intentional. This is an intentional routine pattern. And you know who is not really talking about it the way that they should. Or if they will talk about it, now they have to go into deflect mode and saying, well, it happens with black men too. We're not talking about black men right now. And when's the last time you've heard a story where this has happened to a black man? Because the last few stories it's been happening to black women. Like I said, the fourth quarter for the divestors of last year has been looking really bleak. And like I said, this story plays almost the exact same way in all the other stories, even ones that had nothing to do with Lauren Smith Fields. They go meet a guy, then something happens to him, and then they just kind of vanish. The same thing, but this time we're just in a different state. So I'm going to go ahead and read one of the articles right now. It's kind of a short one, but then I'm going to go to a more lengthier one. It says 29-year-old Asia Maynard, who was reported missing on February 18, 2022. Keep in mind those dates. Like I said, I'm recording this on the 28th. This is 10 days later from a story that was posted 4 days ago. But she went missing on the 18th, or she was reported missing on the 18th. After she was last seen in Kansas City, Missouri, with Isaiah James Crown, that's the name of the guy, from the state of Florida, has been found dead in Kansas City, Missouri. Asia Maynard was found dead at Isaiah's home. According to reports, Asia doesn't have any health issues. She was very healthy. They try to rule the death as if it was natural causes. There is no further investigation, and we feel that there was foul play. Circumstances surrounding the cause of Asia Maynard's death has not been made known to the public. Yesterday, I received news my cousin Asia Maynard had passed away. She went on a date with a man named Isaiah Crown, and the next morning was deceased at his home. My family was...
A CRM shouldn't weigh your budget down.
Lauren, as well, hers was actually a Bumble date. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I want to say it's my internet, but I have really fast internet, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe I got too many things saved. Let me see. Let me turn off some of my YouTubes. And I have to get this one. I got 84 on here, y'all. Let me see. Let me go back a little bit. Or you know what? I'm so sorry. It could be the weather because it's really windy here. I'm so sorry. I just thought about that. Let's see if it's gonna play.
Deceased at his home. My family wasn't notified until about 24 hours after police had already identified her while trying to report her missing. She was only 29 with no prior health issues, a mother of 4. I am deeply saddened, so hard to believe, so many questions. Please pray for my family. Now, I don't want anybody to feel like they're going to take this the wrong way when I say this, but why was she, as a mother of 4, and I'm curious to know the ages of those children. She's only 29. She's not 30 yet. Well, unfortunately, she won't turn 30, but she had 4 kids. Why was she out? Now I'm about to use an old school term, gallivanting with some random dude from Florida. I'm guessing that came to see her because they said he was from Florida. Now I don't know if he traveled from Florida to there to see her or if he's just from Florida.
That pisses me off because just because a woman is out dating does not
And he's living in Missouri.
Does not mean she's gallivanting, you guys. So that pissed me off when he said that. If a man's out dating, he's just dating. But if a woman's dating, she's gallivanting. Yeah, no. This is one of the reasons why this is happening to women because of the stereotype and the stigma that they put on women. You guys remember that. Okay?
4 kids. So, I mean, that factors in as well. So now these 4 kids are without their mother. I just had to ask that. The family will release an obituary and funeral arrangements for Asia Maynard. So I'm going to pause this right quick. And like I said, I'm going to start hopping around a little bit. All right. So now I'm back. I had to go to another source to read some more additional information. They said that how did a seemingly healthy mother of 4 die? That's what the Maynard family desperately wants to understand. She's only 29. You're not dying of natural causes at 29, her mother, Denise Maynard, said. Her sister, Tara Maynard, said on Friday she was supposed to see her sister. She called me Friday at 10:30 or 11 o'clock and said, "Hey, I met a new friend. I'm going on a date. I'll come by tomorrow," Tara said. Now, she says she's met a new friend. And already you're going on a date with this person. I don't know about y'all, but how long does it take before you end up going on a date with somebody? Like, how long do you wait to really know someone before you take that step of going on a date with this individual? And it makes you wonder, where did this date take place? Because if it was somewhere in private, that's really not a date. When I think of a date,
So I know I keep stopping him because he pisses me off with his thoughts. Because of the fact, how long does it take? Well, that's the purpose of a date. You talk to a person, you date. That's the purpose of a date. Not sleep. She's not sleeping. Well, we're not saying she's sleeping with him or she slept with him. We're not saying that. We don't know what she did. But what's wrong with dating a person? What's wrong with meeting a person to go eat dinner to see if speaking on the phone with them for 2 and 3 days or whatever is a waste of your time? There's nothing wrong. We encounter people every day. Okay, it's not her fault that he turned into a maniac or a psychopath. You know what I mean? That's what they should be saying. Why did this man do this? Not why did she go on a date and she just, you know what I mean? The oh my gosh, the way that they do things, everything is different for a woman. You know, not once did I hear him say anything about the man. Why did the man go on a date with the woman he just met? You know, come on. This is sick. It's just sickening. It just makes me mad. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna stop talking. Here you go.
I'm thinking more, especially for a first date, it's got to be in public. You don't trust anybody that you're going on your first date with to be in private. Y'all not serious yet. Once you get to a private date, then that's when y'all are getting serious. Y'all are evolving past the talking stage, and now y'all giving each other the label more so of boyfriend, girlfriend. But she said she met a new friend and already she was like ready to like be with this individual. Mind you, they just met.
He doesn't know when they met.
They said they never heard from Asia Maynard again. After Friday, she never called. She never showed up, and that's not like her. So another day goes by. I said something's not right. It's not sitting right with my spirit, Tara said. Tara called police to file a missing persons report. Maynard said investigators told her she would probably be fine and get in touch soon. However, quickly they learned police already knew where she was and they weren't contacted. So again, you have another situation like with W0MEN Fields where the family is just left out of the loop of what's going on with their loved one. Same thing with the other woman, Brenda Lee Rawls, who went missing the same day as, or around the same time, or was found dead around the same time as Lawrence Smith Fields, and the same thing happened with her family. So, like I said, this is no longer an accident. This is a routine. It's just that now it's happening in another state. It's happening a few states away. The crazy thing about the previous story is that those both happen in the same state, in the same city, in like the same vicinity. And that they don't even really talk about the Brenda Lee Rawls one anymore. They barely talked about it to begin with. It took them to really bring light on Lawrence Smith Fields for them to mention her. And as far as we know, her case is still up in the air, because I really haven't heard anything more of her case. I'll probably look into it after I'm done recording this video. Saturday morning, they found my sister deceased, Tara said. The family said police told them, sorry about that, but let me get back into it. The family said police told them the man she'd been on a date with called police to report she died. What they told them next broke their hearts. We're going to say that she died of natural causes because there was no foul play, Tara said. I feel like they're rushing the investigation. Now, that's crazy, because look at what they said. It says, we're going to say that she died of natural causes. So is that what the police told her? That's what they just said. We're going to say that she died of natural causes, because they don't want to do an investigation, and that they don't believe there was any foul play. If they say so, it says, we're going to say, I almost read the same thing twice. The family said police are looking into what happened. KCPD said they are investigating Maynard's death, but there are no signs of foul play at this time. When she got to the funeral home and we viewed her body, she had blood in her eyes.
She looked at me like, do you think you can commit to me? And I just looked at her and said, sure, you'll probably need a hip replacement.
I have Brenda Lee as well. I have both of them in one together. It's not that long. Well, it's 12 minutes, but you don't have to listen to it.
And her ears and her clothes were saturated with blood.
Let me rewind that so you can hear it's cutting out. I'm holding.
That doesn't sound like natural causes to me.
Okay. Come on. I'm looking at my internet up here. It's doing its thing.
There are no signs of foul play at this time. When she got to the funeral home and we viewed her body, she had blood in her eyes, and her ears and her clothes were saturated with blood. That doesn't sound like natural causes to me. Suspect shot by Leavenworth police during standoff, moved from hospital jail.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I don't know if they wrote that wrong or what, but let me move past that. This is Asia's family has far more questions than peace, and answers are what they need the most. I want justice done. If he did it, please, in the name of Jesus. I know God's seen everything, and we want people to listen to us. Asia's aunt, Rhonda Turner, said. Now I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna look through some screenshots, and the screenshot that I'm about to pull up is going to have it's a message from Asia's, I think that's her sister. I believe that's her sister. And also is going to have a picture of the individual, the Isaiah Crown, who she was last seen with, or last known to be with. Okay, so I did have right. This is her sister. Her name is Tiara Maynard, and I'm mad that it was her in the article. It was her name was written as Tara, but it's Tiara. It says, this man that goes by the name of Isaiah James Crown, around the ages of 24 to 26, from the state of Florida, was last seen in Kansas City, Missouri with my sister Asia Maynard, and they put her name right there at Lady Mayflower. February 18, 2022, she went on a date with him and went to his house. Was found dead the morning of February 19, 2022. She don't have any health issues, very healthy, only 29 years old. She has 4 kids, and they're trying to rule the death as if it was natural causes. There's no further investigation, and we feel there was foul play. We wasn't contacted about her being deceased. Only way we found out was because we filed a missing report February 20th, 2022 at 2:30 p.m. And that's when we found out she was deceased, and autopsy had already been performed, and she was already cleared and ready for funeral home to pick her up. February 20, 2022, we never got a chance to identify her, and they stated that they had already identified her through fingerprints. Then detectives stated there was no way for them to get in contact with any of her family because she didn't have anything updated. But there's other ways that could have been done or could have went about it. They could have ran her plates,
Okay.
and everyone had.
So this guy, I'll tell you more about this dude. This dude is something special, and the fact that he was allowed to do this is even more chaotic. But for the other young lady that they were speaking of, Brenda Lee Rawls and Lauren Smith Fields, who they ruled natural causes. If y'all can see my screen, most of these are this kind of situation of some or another. There was one guy who had multiple women before they caught him. It's just really bad. But the main thing is, okay, so hold on, let me go to it. Let me take you off the screen because I have so much. The main thing is, I noticed a question that said, let me stop sharing. It says, my question is, how long do they know or talk to these guys before they decide to meet up with them? How well or extensive do they do background checks? How well do you get to know them? Asking question. Okay, so I understand your question, but here is a question. It's easier said than done. Background checks are just not something that in the past people would think of when going on a date. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. You talk to a person, you get to know them. They seem cool. They want to meet up and have dinner or drinks, which we all know that you can't do that. And sometimes being young, whatever, or living in your own bubble, because like this stuff right here, I honestly did not know was all this was going on in the world, especially the main thing that I didn't know this stuff was going on in the world, and it had known. Let me tell you, I want to get to it right now, but I also want to show you guys this real quick before I go to it. Um, Look to my photo so you can see the two ladies he's talking about. They were in the same state, same vicinity, and they ended up. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to say that they weren't doing anything to catch the person, or maybe that the person moved so fast that he did it before anybody ever noticed the missing. You know, I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say in that aspect of why he was able to get to two women the same vicinity, same area, the same state. That's beyond me. But I'm gonna show you those two real quick, and then I'll go to the thing, and then I'll be done till. So this one's for Lisa. I mean, I'm saying Lisa. I'm looking at something on here. Uh, I wish I could just put it on my phone and give it to you. This one's for Brenda Lee Rawls and Lauren Smith Fields. I think it puts it in the. It's not updating. I'm sorry, you guys. This one's very important. But with her, the one that just came off, there is more to that story that leads to this other situation that's very important. And then I'll Smithfield evidence. Okay, so this is Lauren. Now, mind you, let me tell you this. While I'm showing you these, unfortunately, the ones that are coming up are black women of color. But you can best believe they are not the only ones. Okay, they are not. 19-year-old Milwaukee teen. Um, I want to show you this so bad, but okay, I want to show you this so bad so you can understand. But I gotta let me find these two real quick. How did Lauren choose a vulnerable date? So let me do this. It's saved to one of my other devices, and I'm not able to pull it up on this one on my computer, even though it's from the same folder. So I'm gonna have to send it to my phone so you can see those two in the same in the same area, same neighborhood, same same vicinity, same state, and it's really sad. Damn it. Okay, let me send it. Oh wait, is that it? Nope, it's just. Oh, here she go. Here's Brenda. There's Brenda. Okay, so it's showing me the Brenda. Here, I'll do Brenda real quick. No, that's only 38 seconds. Well, I'll do Brenda real quick so you'll know who Brenda is while I get the two of them together real fast. Oh my gosh, this one's gonna throw you for a whole loop right here. Yeah. Okay, this one's gonna throw y'all back. Let me give you this real quick. I'm so sorry. I'm glad this happened. So this is definitely gonna throw you. Thank you, Ebony.
We have some new information in the death of a woman in Connecticut that led to a detective being suspended. The medical examiner found Brenda Lee Rawls died of natural causes. Investigators say that her cause of death was cardiovascular disease with diabetes as a contributing factor. The 53-year-old died this past December, and she was one of two deaths in Bridgeport on that same day. In both cases, the families said that police never alerted them their loved ones had died. Two detectives with the Bridgeport Police Department now suspended, and an investigation will determine if they mishandled the cases.
Okay, so here comes the other one real quick. You see that, Miss? I don't even know what to say.
Clap fizz, yeah, that's it. You do you, I do me, that's lit.
Y'all gotta excuse me. My computer is moving real slow, and it really shouldn't be, but it is. So we're gonna deal with that. Let me give you the other one. We gotta wait. This is the two. Remember, this is the two. Same area, same place.
That the investigation is closed. What investigation? They never started an investigation.
It took us 3 days for them to even tell us where her body was located at. We had to keep begging them and calling them to ask them, just please tell me where my child's at.
In December 2021, Lauren Smith Fields and Brenda Lee Rawls died on the same day in the same Connecticut neighborhood. Since then, they say no one from the Bridgeport Police Department has given their families any update on the investigations into their deaths. They want to figure out why.
Like, I'm really about to be 25 in 2 years.
23-year-old Lauren Smith Fields died on December 12, 2021, after going on a Bumble date with a 37-year-old. Her mother says Bridgeport police never notified them and only found out after physically showing up to her daughter's apartment, where she found a note stuck on the door with a number to call. It belonged to a Bridgeport police detective. Smithfield's family was not happy with their conversation with that detective.
He told us to stop calling his phone, that the guy that night was a good guy, leave it alone, just stop calling his phone, talking disrespectful. It was crazy.
The medical examiner ruled Field's cause of death accidental, saying she had several drugs in her system, including fentanyl. I spoke with Bridgeport New Police Chief Roderick Porter and asked who the bumble date called when he first discovered Lauren's body.
From my review of the records, he called 911.
Okay. If the records indicate that everything was on the up and up and this person, this bumble date, did call and did, call 911 immediately, and if the officer responded in an up and up way, then why had it taken so long for that to come out?
Yeah, so I can't speak to that. I became the chief December 1st, and one of the things that I promised to do is be as transparent and honest as we can, and that's what we're trying to do at this point. So I can't really speak to all of that, but just looking at what I looked at, I don't know why there would have been a delay in sharing information with the family.
I mean, I know that you weren't chief, at that point, but did you know, were you a part of the department at that time? Did you hear anything? Were you made aware, privy to anything that might have indicated why?
I was a part of the department at that time. It was before I had left. And no, I wasn't privy to what had occurred.
Her bumble date was not charged, and Porter says he was never named as a suspect. Brenda Lee Rawls also died that same day after a visit with a neighbor her sister Dorothy says was someone she used to date. Once her family stopped hearing from her, they went looking. Dorothy says her siblings found out their little sister was dead from that neighbor, who then handed them her clothes. But Rawls' body was not at his house. It was at the medical examiner's office. The ME ruled Rawls died of natural causes, heart disease triggered by diabetes. She was 53. Her family was outraged by how authorities handled her death.
The case was never about if she had illness or not. The case is specifically about the fact how they treated my sister like a Jane Doe in death, how they violated her civil rights, how they violated the family's civil rights without even notifying us. And we want to know what happened that night. Who came to get her? What police officer was there? Was she taken by an ambulance or what? Why didn't they question the guy that was there? Why wasn't there tape around? You find somebody dead in your bed in the morning. Who did he call? What about the 911 tapes?
How is it possible that the neighbor who was friends with your sister, how come he was not questioned? Do you think he was the last person to see your sister alive?
Absolutely. First things first, I don't believe there ever was an investigation.
In neither case did Bridgeport police contact either family to notify them of the women's deaths. Both families tell Inside Edition Digital they're gutted. They still don't know the manner in which Lauren Smithfield and Brenda Lee Rawls died, since they question the accuracy of the medical examiner's reports. They say their repeated requests for 911 recordings, police body cam footage, even the woman's personal belongings, including Lauren's cell phone, anything that would give these families insight into the women's last moments have yielded no response.
They didn't take that guy's phone that night. They didn't search through nothing. We still haven't got any feedback on what they found on Lauren's phone. We still haven't got her ID back. Any of the items that the police took from her that night when she passed. I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point.
Darnell Crossland, the attorney for both families, tells Inside Edition Digital.
Presumptively, they have body cams and
Right.
they tap the body cam. And so that has not been released.
Crossland says Brenda Lee Rawls' case is strikingly similar.
All the experts that looked at this case says that you treat these cases like a homicide and you dial them backwards as need be.
But that's not what happened in these two cases.
They didn't go to the gentleman's house that she was found at. They didn't try to trace anything to see if there's anything nefarious that happened. They just wrote it off like an accident and didn't notify anybody.
Tell me about what has been going on when it comes to the evidence, the 911 calls in the Brenda Lee Rawls case and the Lauren Smithfield case.
Web.com's AI tools make website creation easy. Simply tell us some info about your brand and the
What have the families gotten so far?
So sure. So since I became chief in December 1st of 2022, I've reached out to each of those families, and I've been in contact with each of those families. And thus far, the only family that has come in was the Rawls family. And I gave them some documentation, some police reports and things of that nature. The Smith family, we were in contact, but we've not yet secured a time for them to come in. They wanted to speak with their lawyer, and they've gotten back to me as of this point.
Why did it take so long, or why is it taking so long for these families to collect the belongings of their loved ones and to get 911 recordings and police reports and all of the things that many other cases and the loved ones of victims get within hours and days of the initial incident?
So I can't speak to all of that. I can speak to the time that I've been here, but I can say to you, I'm not sure what belongings that they have not been given. I do believe there were some belongings that were returned. As I read the reports, I do see some notations that there were some belongings that were returned. So I'm not sure what outstanding belongings there are.
One small victory came for the Rawls and Field families in the spring of 2022, when local lawmakers voted unanimously to require police to notify the families of deceased relatives within 24 hours. But a recent Hearst Media Connecticut investigation turned up that the city of Bridgeport has a backlog of more than 2,000 Freedom of Information Act records requests. The law, commonly referred to as FOIA.
Oh, this is the law that everybody, I think this is worldwide. I don't think it's just there. I think everybody gets this now.
Is how the public, including journalists, can access certain records on public officials, including police body cam footage, in order to hold tax-funded government entities accountable. Connecticut Insider reports that despite Bridgeport Mayor Joseph Ganem's promise for transparency, he and his administration have done little, if anything, to address the years-long backlog.
The head administrator just came out now and said that in order to make FOIA requests more effective, they're going to have the departments that the request is going to answer their own FOIA, because there's a bottleneck. So they're saying instead of doing that, they'll just have the fire department answer their own FOIA requests, the police answer their own, Board of Education answer their own.
And I know that Mayor Ganem has come out and said they want to streamline the process. That's something you just referred to. Mm-hmm. So when is that happening? Is that now? Is there a set date? Has it?
Yeah. Well, let me let you hear when it's now for this state.
Already happened?
So in terms of these two cases, we've begun the process of reaching out to give information as it relates to the FOIA process. I'm not sure everything that they're looking for, but we have made overtures to have them come in and give out information.
He turned down a request to appear on camera, but through his spokesperson, Mayor Ganem tells Inside Edition Digital that FOIA training in Bridgeport began during the second week of March 2023. When asked about the previous police chief who oversaw the investigation before Chief Porter took it over, Mayor Ganem said it was a personnel matter. When asked whether his office could send over any police body cam footage, 911 call tapes, or transcripts, he told me to file a FOIA request. Chief Porter told Inside Edition Digital their investigation turned up no evidence of foul play in Brenda Lee Rawls' death.
If it was so well done, then why the hesitation from the Bridgeport Police Department? And, you know, I had reached out to the police department back then. Mm-hmm. I reached out to the mayor back then, and no one would say anything. If it was done on the up and up, then why not just come out and say, hey, this was done, and avoid the speculation and avoid the frustration from the families?
No, I mean, I think there were some things that we could have done better. I mean, there's definitely were things that could have done, that should have done better. Our communication to the family definitely could have been done a whole lot better. And, you know, so we're trying to improve upon that. And we're trying to be transparent. You know, I tried to make arrangements to meet with each family prior to being contacted by you for any interviews or anything like that.
Okay, I'm getting off there because he's gaslighting.
The sentiment in this, across both cases, is that, you know, had these two women been of a different race, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, right? The thought is that when it comes to these types of cases, Black women are constantly just shoved aside, we don't get as much attention or care as maybe some women of other races. What do you have to say to that?
No, I would say sadly, in many respects, sometimes that is true. Sometimes it's perception, sometimes it is reality. But not just Black women, but, Black people in general. That's a sad commentary on where we are. But like I say, that's something that I would not tolerate, something that I don't condone, something that we are really trying to make sure it doesn't occur again.
Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont has not responded to Inside Edition Digital's multiple requests for comment. The Fields family.
Okay, I'm sure that man probably is not employed anymore from that comment alone. Yeah, I'm sure he probably is not. Oh my goodness, you guys weren't getting any of that? I cannot, you guys didn't see the rest of that? I am so sorry. I was just sitting here silent, huh? I'm so sorry. It was just the police. Yeah, it was ugly. Okay, so just for people to know that this is not just happening for Black people, there are multiple, I can't find, they won't give you really pictures of them, but there are multiple races that this is happening to. This is just not Black women. But what I want to show you, what I want to give you guys information on is this. It's called, does anyone know what a zaddy is? Zaddy is what people refer to, I'm going to say rich or wealthy, well-off white men. And there is another situation where I did not know that there's actually a thing where Black women or women of color, because it's not all Black women, it's different types of women that downgrade their own races and different things, and they don't like them because of their financial status. Okay. So I'm going to show you that little thing, and this is one of the reasons why some of it, I believe, is being pushed under the rug. And I'm not going to go too far into this because this is a whole nother thing, but this is just to shed a light on what's really going on. You know what I mean? What is behind a lot of the things that are not being reported, the things that people are not saying. This just goes, for this. And it's so sad because it's like a thing. When I say a thing, it's like a trend. And this trend is actually getting young women unalived, and they leave the families in turmoil. So I'm going to show that, and then I'll just go ahead and basically, because it's kind of this is very disturbing, you guys. So this is the part that got me the most. Matter of fact, this young lady, the main lady, young lady, I stopped it ahead of time, but she was one of the ones that were supposed to be part of this little thing, the zaddy, the loving of the zaddy. And I'm going to give you the name of the group. And Jesus, this is why you're not supposed to have so much stuff in your folders. It's called, I just put it in here. Okay, here you go. So it's called I don't know how to divestment. Has anyone ever heard of divestment? And if you've heard of divestment, I'm gonna I'm gonna play this one thing that basically tells you about it, and it's kind of sad, uh, because this is it's saddening. It's saddening because so many of our young women are hip to this, and the fact that they have uh, a group of women who encourage this, and this is like a thing, makes it even more sad. And I'm trying to find the right one because I have so many of them, but I want this one particular one that explains. I think this one, yeah, I think. Okay. This one is, but this is going to explain to you what it is, and it's. I'm just going to let you hear what he says, and then we all know the actual name for this, but they've just changed the name to this, to make it uh more appealing, I guess, or legal. So I'm going to let you see this one real quick, and then we'll wrap it up with what we need to say about it. And TC, I love your comments, so thank you for sharing those. Yeah. Hold on. I am so sorry, y'all. I had to shut down my whole computer, or I had to end the whole task of that because I had so much on it. My computer completely froze. So I have no clue what y'all saw, what y'all didn't see. I was trying to figure it out, but I couldn't do it. I had to shut it down. So I was playing something that told you about the divestment, and it's episode 1, and he's he's going to, I don't know if that's the one I want to show you, but I'm going to show you that one anyway. So I'm going to bring that one up real quick because he's going to tell you about divestment and zaddies, and that's basically what he's trying to tell us is important because this is what is this is what's appealing and attracting the young women to do some of the things that they're doing with these people that they're meeting on these first dates that are um, loose cannons. So that's why I chose this guy in this video to watch. So I'm gonna see if I can pull it back up because I don't know what's going on here. But I had so much. I do apologize. I just had so much on here because there's so much. There was so much. There's like so much that. So let me go back to it real quick, the playlist, so I can pull it back up. Because it's, oh my gosh. And then, now mind you, of course, women, men do it, women, whatever, whoever many does it, it's okay, understood. But this particular thing is what's got a lot of our young women out there doing certain things. So I'm going to the first one. I think this is the number one first. Okay, he says it's going to be a new series on his channel. I really admire him for doing this because it helps out people. So I just really want you guys to see this so we can see where a lot of the young women, what's leading them to meet up with these strange people on the first dates and different things like that. So that's why I said it's not necessarily that they're looking for love and just different things. So let me share this with you real quick. My screen is a lot clearer. Let's see, it should play faster as well. So his name is this is Divestment Tales. This is Kiera Anderson. This is the Philip Scott Show, you guys.
Well, thank you for considering to join the Philip Scott Show.
Yeah, no, not today.
A new series on this channel, starting with this one. We're going to call this one Divestment News, episode number 1. The reason why we're going to do this is because this is just a PSA type of news segment. That's all it is. It is to protect the young girls from the propaganda from the divestment queens that will lead them to a horrible, horrible path. Now, we have one of our sisters here, Kiera Anderson. I want you to listen to what happened with Kiera here. Quite sad. And her children. Let's roll that clip.
Oh, God. Please don't let this end bad.
Stunned neighbors watched SWAT officers from the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office swarm the outside of a home after 911 calls alerted them to a man who may have shot his wife and children in.
I don't know what happened.
Inside the home.
We have, look, there's this guy right there. He's on our sidewalk with gun. With a gun.
The videos and other photos from neighbors show how this quiet neighborhood instantly turned into a crime scene. It wasn't until later when deputies made entry into the home that they discovered 30-year-old.
Okay, this might not be the one. Let me see. Hold on, but he might tell us what it is on this one. I think this is why I got this one. Hold on, let me fast forward past what happened.
I hated what happens to her family. I hate that. I hate that with a passion. Those children didn't deserve that.
Right.
He's a soft.
Okay, that's probably just one of them where they became one of these, but that's not the right one. I do apologize.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced AI capabilities.
So far, what I've seen.
And this woman's claim in the 2018 code of divestment tales. We have something that happened in 2018, and this woman claims that Zaddy it was an accident that Zaddy did to her. It wasn't like what people saying it is. So back in 2018, this particular sister and her husband Donald were relaxing in a garden, prepared to cook food on their outdoor.
Okay, I'm not going to let y'all see that one yet. That's for next week. That one is sick, but it shows you how that one, you can look at it on your own if you want, but it shows you how, I don't want to say how sick, I don't want to say that word. Women cover for them, cover for these people if they make it through. But I really want the one that shows you, gives you the example of what Zaddy is. There's a group of women that promote this, and that's what he's going to tell you about. I just got to find that. Okay, that's a young lady who went through something, and he ended up unaliving himself by the grace of goodness. It was not her.
Divesting Gone Wrong, featuring Ami McClure and the Mighty McClures.
Yeah.
Who is Ami McClure?
No, you guys. But anyway, divesting. He said that it's a group. If anybody knows what that is, love her. He said that it's a group that encourage women to get with more financially stable white men, and for the most part, they pump them and dump them. So until I find that one, I'll let you hear. This is one of the reasons why they say, I don't know why white men fantasize about black women or women of color.
I once dated this guy for an entire year.
White women fantasize about men of color. I have one of that one too. So I'll let you hear this one real quick. And I do apologize that I cannot find the one that I'm looking for. Please, I am so sorry.
And he never took me out on a date. We did work together, so we did get to see each other all the time. We also went out to dinner, but it was always a group dinner. But then his birthday rolled around. Because I really liked him, I took him on our first date to this restaurant called Fogo de Chao. It was the most expensive dinner I had ever had. I know most people would have gotten super frustrated with this, but like I said, I really liked him. So I married him. I once dated this guy for an entire year, and he never took me out on a date. We did work together, so we did get to see each other all the time. He also,
can you imagine?
So went out to dinner, but it was always a group dinner. But then his birthday rolled around. Because I really liked him, I took him on our first date to this restaurant called Fogo de Chao. It was the most expensive dinner I had ever had. I know most people would have gotten super frustrated with this, but like I said, I really liked him. So I married him.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Okay. So, no, we're not going to watch that. So, wait. So, that's theirs. Let me find the woman. Yes, it says interracial because it's here's the woman. Let me find her. Becky objectifying brothers. Okay. This is your
I love coming home to a 5-star experience.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to come back around the corner
with Hotel Collection.
Soon as
So the brother Vince Staples from the Vince Staples show had posted a TikTok video that caught my attention. A lot of people was kind of sharing it around. Well, it's this girl. Her name is Riley. That's what it says, at least on the TikTok. But I want you to hear exactly what she's saying. And she's going to be speaking about black men. And I want you to pay attention to what she is saying about us as black men and why a lot of us as brothers are really getting tired of seeing videos like this. But let's go ahead and roll that clip.
For all you chocolate men out there who said it was okay to be that fine, that athletic, that sexy, so sweet, wonderful personalities, strong, tough. We won't talk about that one. Your lips, ooh, your kisses and your hugs just hit different. And like my daddy says, not too light, don't like him too dark, I like him just right. Yes, my dad is okay with me dating black guys. Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. I don't know what it is. Y'all just like give me like freaking butterflies or something. I can't wait to find mine. People always like, you look so innocent, you know, like you're so sweet, innocent. So I love them.
A lot of brothers are starting to see nothing about that kind of video is cute. Nothing about it. Okay. She mentioned some things that really bothered me. She's mentioning, of course, like talking about, you know, black men and how our features are. She's speaking about things in a physical and sexual manner. She's not saying that, you know, she want to marry a black man because she feel he'll be a good husband, or she's not saying that she feel that he can be a good father. Her deal about getting pregnant was based off of a lustful type of comment. Then she made a statement that really also bothered me when she said that, well, not too light, not too dark. That's what you're focusing on, the color of a black man. I mean, that colonialism, racism is in them, even when they think they're not even saying it. Then she mentioned her dad being okay with her being with a black man. See, that's the other part that is really bothersome, because we all know that the white man don't really want a black man with their daughter. And hey, I don't take an issue with it. You don't take an issue with it? No, I don't take an issue with it. The reason why I don't take an issue with it, because he's thinking self-preservation. He knows that only another white man could make a white child with his white daughter. He knows that. If she have a child with a black man, that child is not going to be white. That he knows that. Okay. So on top of the self-preservation thing, and if racism, hey, some people have that, but he's saying he's not like that. Okay. But it's still an issue, because we all know, and she even know, the history of racism in this country. That's why she had to mention my dad's okay with it, because 9 times out of 10, he would be the one that would be against that. But these videos, and she is saying that at the end, oh, I love them. You know what? Let me tell you something, Riley. Let me tell you something. If you really love black men, if you really love black men, this is what I need you to do. I need you to show and prove, Riley, that you love black men. I need you to go out and take your white privilege, and I need you to go in mass incarceration in the United States of America so you can help free black men. I want you to go out, Riley, and I want you to make sure that black men can get jobs in this country. And I want you to help end discrimination. I want you to go to police departments, and I want you to end police brutality against black men. You understand? So you need to put in work, Riley. And any of them that say they love black men, okay, show and prove. You don't love black men. You love the BBC. That's all you love. You don't love nothing about black men at all. You ain't proved that. You're not showing that. And we are getting to a point, and I'm glad brothers are starting to see this, that people like you just want to come leech. You even making videos now, in which I got that video, and I'm going to cover that probably another time. Where you openly saying that you want to have children with black men to survive. Or this other video I saw, this woman say, well, I got a pasty skin, thin lips. It said, I don't know what I'm going to do to fix things. Oh, look, my husband, you know, basically want to use his black man's genes to make, in her opinion, the better version of herself, I guess. That's the way she was coming across. Those videos aren't cute at all. I'm not liking them. A lot of brothers not liking them. And since you want to call us chocolate men or whatever, I mean, why are you calling us that color? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, women like this or young girls like this, it needs to come to a time, brothers, that it has enough to be enough. You know, unlike Antonio Brown, which he did post no white women 2020. I mean, even though he went back with his baby mama, but hey, that's his business. They need to be starved out. I've said that a long time ago. I said, if you really want to.
Okay, so that's not the one I wanted, but this is the thing. If you take that and switch it around, that's basically what the diversity in Zaddy is about. A group of women downplaying their own race, whether it's black, white, Asian, or what, not white, black and Asian, whatever, and they want only the well-off white men who can take care of them. And there are people that are actually on the internet that are rooting them on. It's like I don't want to say like a whorehouse or a brothel. It's something in that matter, where they actually, root them on and tell them that it's okay, it's good, it's right, what you're doing is not bad, and that's why you see a lot of young women of all races going out with these strange people on the first date. I was trying to find this one, but like I said, damn it, I'm so upset because that was like my cut cake opener or whatever, or closer or whatever for the next one, and I don't know what happened to it. So I just have to sum it up. But he also linked it into I think it might have been the one young lady that I just heard. I think it was they were proved that the young lady did it, but I don't want to be off the name. But anyway, one of the persons that is a suspect in one of the unaliving of the young women is actually known for doing it multiple times, and you can see in the messages of this one video where they're continuously saying that this is this, I told him this, he did this, and the lady's coming on and said yes. You can actually see different things in that particular live that the man was doing, and for the life of me, I don't know what I did with it, but damn it, I forgot the one that I had that went down on my Facebook page. It was actually one that's actually going on right now, and the people are actually still trying to get the person convicted. The person is actually posting on his Facebook like nothing has happened, luring other people in, and they're every time he posts, they're blasting him. And I had that up here as well, but thanks to my nice computer stalling out because I'm not smart enough to take down some of the 84 apps or 74 apps that I had up. Exactly. It left my screen. Okay, so this is like not directly connected, but it is connected. So I'm gonna put up what Melissa Santana said. Jeezy and Jeannie Ma. If you remember on one of Jeannie's TV shows on live TV, well, whatever TV with the real show, she basically says she wants the dark meat on the side and the white meat up front. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. It's basically the same exact thing. Hey Nina Boo, it's actually the same. I'm so discombobulated now because I really needed that so you can see because it goes to the next thing about the zaddies. But it actually goes to the young man that I told you. Pay attention. His father is a millionaire. You feel it? So hello, but all of a sudden she was where he had nothing to do with what, or was that the one where he may have had more because he had a whole dungeon full of stuff that was, so who, if you could see this like a million, not a million, there's a lot of them. Okay, I'm gonna just say that there's a lot of them. Oh, this is okay. It's no, not it, but this is one of them. Y'all know I'm discombobulated because I cannot find my screen, but I think that's it. Okay. Deleted by her daddy. So it says divested Cheryl black woman, Cheryl Turner, deleted by her zaddy in Louisiana. That's one of the ones that I showed you about that was going to lead back to the zaddy situation. That was definitely going to. Okay, hold on. This let me send this to this will show you. It's not exactly what I want, but at least it'll give you an idea of what I'm trying to tell you since I lost it. It'll give you an idea of what I'm trying to tell you, so you'll know that I'm not making stuff up. I don't like to make it seem like I make stuff up. But this is not just something that happened. This is just like pimping and hoeing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Um, in subcon, it's basically the same thing. These women are out here getting with these daddies. Unfortunately, the men that they are getting with are probably not really daddies. Probably don't really want to be with them. Probably just fantasize about the black woman. I actually had a video of them what they see one of them saying how they feel about a black woman. That it's like the thing. It's like a fantasy for some reason. Mm. So this is divested black woman Turner. Um, Deleted by her zaddy in Louisiana. And I think I already played one of this, but this is a different one. So he's going to tell you a little bit about it. And this is pretty good. So let me give you this one, and then I'm going to end it if we have any questions, or tell you somebody may have a story or something. Because it's getting late and I'm frustrated. I lost my screen, my $100 million screens. I mean, my 100 million screens, not $1 million screens, y'all. I'm stupid.
Go live.
Okay, so this is Red Supreme.
Right. We are live.
So he's just going to reiterate some of the things we've already talked about. But he's going to say another zaddy worshiping black woman. When will it stop?
When will it stop, man? I don't think it's going to stop no time soon. Because you got more women who think, well, that was just a coincidence. It won't happen to me. So it's going to continue to happen. I don't see it stopping no time soon. As long as you have divestors and bed wenches, well, this will continue to happen. Take my word for it.
I'm going to see.
Take my word for it. Right?
So let me see. Can I get him to tell you what they call it?
So yeah.
I want them to tell you the exact.
I don't see black females changing their mindset and their ways no time soon. So this right here, you're going to see more cases like this, and you're going to see me cover these videos. You're going to see me cover these stories. That's a fact, homie. Because what they try, I'm going to tell you what they try to do. They try to make it seem like these are just isolated incidents. Like these are just isolated situations. Like this is not happening all across the nation. No, these are not isolated situations. What I see is a pattern here. I said this in my stream a couple of days ago. What you see right now is a pattern. These are not isolated situations. You got to be dumb to believe it is. Well, divestors and bed wenches are pretty damn dumb. So they'll fall for the same thing, and it's going to continue to happen. Well, hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you haven't already, man. Let's get into this game. It's Red Supreme. Yeah, let's talk about it. Divesting been around. The only thing is now they put a name to it. They put a label on it. But the mentality, the mentality has been around. It's not like they decided to just come up with this new mindset all of a sudden. This mindset has been here. Now that you have social media, they can put a tag to it to get more women to follow it. That's the only difference. But the mentality has been around, my dog. It's nothing new. They're just more vocal about it. That's the only difference. And now you have social media platforms to promote this degenerate behavior. That's the only difference. But trust and believe, it's been black women on this time for a long time. You know, black women, it's a lot of black females that's been on this type of timing for a long time. The only difference is
Sorry about that.
Difference now is it's exposed all over social media because of the advancement of technology. But the mentality been around for decades. Please believe. So yes, the answer to your question is yes, they've been divesting. You're just seeing it now on a large scale. You know, because like I say, these platforms are here to expose these mentalities. You know, the mentality in black females, divested black women in general. I mean, you can see fuckery in everybody on a larger scale due to social media. So yes, it's gonna get exposed. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It's Red Supreme. We chopping up game heavy. The mentality been around since slavery. I like how you said that, Jay Skywalker. The mentality's been around since slavery. Please believe it.
Okay, so I let that play a little bit because it's the truth. It's been around forever. The only difference now is that they have social media to advertise it and things like that. Along with, there are more ways to get ahead of it, maybe, for lack of a better term. Maybe to stop all the unaliving of the women who choose to do that. I'm not saying that it's right for them to do that, and I'm not saying that they deserve to be unalive for doing it. But at the same time, who is man to decide what to do with a woman because of what she chooses to do? You know, they have no right to do that to a woman. But that's a lot of young women that are going out, not all, that are going out on these fast and random dates with these men. A lot of times that's what they're doing. They're looking for that zaddy. Okay. And that's why I was trying to find that one video, because he explains in detail divestment and zaddy. And I'm so dumb because I did not take the time to either record it or remember exactly the term to put it. So I do apologize for that part. I believe that Jeannie Mom that was her intent for marrying Jeezy. I definitely believe that. But once again, remember, it's not just black women that divest. Okay, it definitely isn't. But at the same time, at this point, we don't know who's good or who's bad on the internet, so you got to be careful. I have an Asian lady who does the same thing. I have videos about white women who did the same thing. Even though they're white, they still did the same thing, and they became unalived, missing, just different things like that. So it doesn't stop with black women. But what I will say is that I believe that black women's cases are the most overlooked, which is why I brought light to the black women. So, but once I find that, I will put a clip of it on my page. This might be it. No, that's not it. I will put a clip of it so on my page so that you can see what it means. And people actually marry them. Okay, sometimes they marry them, and then like the one lady who did it, fortunately she didn't get a zaddy who unalive people. She got one that just continuously mistreated her, and then she finally realized he's never gonna love her like she needs to be loved. Okay, wait. Okay. And this is how they average. This is how the women advertise it to the young women to make them want to do it. Sometimes this is something that is really. I mean, if you guys have daughters, you guys got to pay attention to this. You guys got to teach them because it's not right. It's horrible. So let me stop sharing this so I can bring this up real quick. But this is the one. This is how they advertise it. This is how they make the young women want to do this. This is how they make them feel that it's okay to do. Okay. Hold on. And this is a woman. I'm sticking by this one, y'all. Because I gotta be ready.
Connect them to your teams.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Amanda Awakens. I make content to uplift and empower Black women. Sometimes that includes how to navigate the interracial dating scene. Other times that involves how to heal from past trauma through intentional living and shadow work. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the divestment movement and what you need to know before you sign your name on the dotted line of the divestment movement, starting now. The first reason why you're going to find it really difficult to divest is because
this is not the video I wanted to show you guys, but this is part of the explanation of it, which is not the whole explanation intent because it goes further than this, which makes them look for, which becomes a form of prostitution, solicitation, or different things like that, which is how the first date and the young lady who has good cooch come about.
as deep down in the core of your being, you know that you don't actually want to divest. You want to protest. You don't want divestment. You want punishment. You want to punish Black men for mistreating you, for devaluing you, for overlooking you. P.S. If you're enjoying this video so far, then why not hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so that you never miss a video from me. And you want punishment because you are holding on to pain, to anger, and that pain, that anger, that bitterness, those are all bonding agents that are going to serve to keep you in bondage to your aggressor. And as Erykah Badu told us many years ago, like 20 years ago, she told us that we can't be bag ladies. We have to drop our bags. But you're likely still carrying those bags because you haven't taken accountability for your healing. You're putting the work on others to do better, to be better, to know better, to prove to you that you are worthy of their time and that they are worthy of your time. And all of that is a waste of time. Your healing has to start now, and your healing cannot be dependent upon others. Because ultimately, if you haven't healed the turmoil within yourself, then you will have to endure the turmoil without yourself. So many Black women are looking to divest from Black men and find an Asian man or a white man or a Hispanic man to give them what they believe they cannot find from a Black man. And it's totally possible that you will find what you've always been looking for in someone outside of your race. That is 100% possible. But here's the problem. If you allow yourself to be blinded and led blindly by your anger, your resentment, your bitterness, you will find yourself being led into the exact same situations that you are trying to leave behind, that you are trying to divest from. So if you are thinking about metaphorically or figuratively joining the divestment movement, then here's what you need to know.
God damn it.
You will always be more or less desirable than someone else. Again, a lot of Black women are divesting from Black men because they feel as if they just are not desirable to Black men. And so they're looking for men outside of their race to see them as appealing, as desirable. But the truth is, no matter who you date, regardless of their skin color, there will always be people who are going to be more desirable than you are and who will be perhaps seen as less desirable than you are. So basically what I'm trying to say is that you can divest from Black men all you want, but don't go outside of your race thinking that just every person of Hispanic, Asian, or Caucasian descent is going to just find you to be the cutest, most valuable thing walking. Some will, but some won't. Another thing to keep in mind is that what is seen as desirable changes all the time. We're seeing it right now in the decline of the BBL body. That was once, and I mean, it still is like a very desirable figure, but we're also seeing more people coming out and criticizing that body type and sharing their personal regrets with undergoing that surgery. So just know that whatever is seen as desirable changes with the wind, and you're better.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there because my internet is terrible. Okay, so with that being said, oh shoot, let me stop sharing, y'all. I'm sorry, I was not trying to do that. I guess I did. Am I sharing my screen? I don't know what's going on. My computer keeps doing its own thing, y'all. I am so sorry. Let me see if it let me. Okay, so anyway, let me jump back to where I was. So, mainly they feel like if they divest to the white men of a higher statute and finances or lifestyle, they'll be whatever the greatest. But you have to remember, white men see a lot of, not all, see a Black woman or a woman of color or a woman of a different race as a fantasy and things like that. So, oh my God, that just took me all the way around the corner, which does not even go together, but it goes together. I don't even know how to loop those together because of what she said. There was some truth to it, and then there was some that was not true to it. But for the most part, it's divestment and the zaddies. That's what I'm talking about. But that's a part of what divestment is, where you go outside your race to find what you're missing in yours, which for most of the young ladies that they're speaking of or that they're trying to connect with it is financial security. Okay. So that's how a lot, no, that's what they're saying. A lot of the young ladies that they're not taking the time to mention are out searching for, or the ones that go on these first dates to the houses or whatever. That's what they're saying it's from. That's what they're trying to connect it with. But remember this, it doesn't matter what your reason is for doing it, you don't deserve to not come home after your first date. Okay? So the next time I do a part of this, I'm going to try to find the right videos. I'm going to actually do what my sister told me to do. She told me to screen record. And I was like, oh, I can get it because that's a lot on my phone because I have a million things on my phone. I'm going to actually screen record and then send it to here and do it like that so I don't have to worry about the internet and me having to reset my computer because I have a million things. But remember, it's divestment and zaddy. It's a whole movement. It's a whole thing that people have been doing, which is no different from prostitution, solicitation, and things like that. Where I live, we call it we have a whole street. They call it the Blade, where the women walk up and down. They have a blade for women, and they have a blade for transsexuals, transgender. They just have them everywhere. One day I might go if I have somebody in the car with me, but I will not be going by myself. But that's what they do sometimes, and it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely ridiculous, and it does not just go for Black women. Okay, it does not go for only white women. It goes for all women. All women, okay, are doing the same thing because of the stigma that they have on how a woman should look, smell, feel, or whatever the case may be. So that's another target of women, not only here, home, workplace, in the world. There's a lot of different ways that women are being targeted. I do apologize that my computer shut down because the video that I have for you nailed and told you all about the divestment movement, the divestment and the Zaddies movement, and I'll try to find that. But until then, I hope that I captured some people. I hope that you guys come back for the rest of it, because I'm just really upset about this. Sister, don't get mad at me. I apologize. But I will see you guys later. And next time I'll have my video screen recorded like I was told, so I don't have to worry about my computer shutting down. Y'all have a good night.